Hello everyone, Chuck Snow with Earl Dudley. I am the UAV specialist for Earl Dudley and have been working here for 5 years. And a couple of years ago, my boss asked me to look at UAV data and to specifically look at LiDAR. My background is mapping. I owned a mapping company for 15 or 20 years in Alabama, and I know a little about LiDAR since we flew it and stuff, but I did not process it. But I knew enough to know that processing LiDAR data is a complicated thing. And we have shied away from getting a LiDAR system because I knew I don't want to sell, my customers a UAV they're going to struggle with and have problems with, and just, work very difficult, worked a lot to be able to get a surface on. So I've been looking. I've looked at everybody. I've looked at every LiDAR company in the United States. We've looked at them. We've either visited or had them here or chatted with them or whatever to look at their system. This company that we represent, GeoCue, with their TruView410 system, they have tested many, many sensors, 40, 50, 60, and we wanted, our goal at Earl Dudley was to have an inexpensive system that would get through canopy. That's what we're looking for our survey guys, our contractor guys, our engineering firms. This one will do those things. There will be another system that comes out later in this year. I know there's a lot of people out there that love the Regal system for good reason. That is a great sensor. And we will have that platform first or second quarter of this year. So if you want one of those, and if you want to spend, over twice the money that this one cost, you can get you a Regal system if you want. So anyway, I'm going to run through some of this stuff. This will not take long to run through some of this data just to talk to you guys about it. GeoCue, why? Why did we choose GeoCue? They've been around a long time, since '03. Lewis comes from an Intergraph background, if you guys are familiar with that, and then the things that they did in this world of mapping. And they've been writing software for LiDAR processing. That's what intrigued me about this system. I had a customer call me and tell me I should look at it because he knew that we'd been looking for 2 years. And every time I see a system that I like the hardware on, the software is just way too difficult for customers. So I have shied away from them. They've got over 3,000 drone mapping projects. They invented the low-key system. They've got a great staff. They're located in Alabama, which was pretty helpful for us, but not the most important thing, because we looked at companies as far away as California for building systems for us. We want a system that works and that our customers can use without difficulty. That was our goal. So, and we won't be able to be sustained. Lewis is an old company. So if you guys have looked at UAV companies, a lot of them, there's been hundreds of them that have failed over the last 5 years since I've been doing this. So anyway, let's look a little bit at the system and kind of see what it does. It's LiDAR imagery fusion. So everybody does LiDAR, and you can have, colored by Z, intensity, whatever you want to call this. Or what most people want today is they want to get colored by RGB, which is, we can do either one. So you get to choose. The two cameras do come with it, the RGB cameras. We got one port and one starboard to collect RGB information so you can colorize the LiDAR. So that's just a standard thing on the system because most people want to do that. Some of the things we looked at, as we're speccing out the system, how's it going to work? What's its range? How much area can you fly? We're mounting these. Again, we're trying to keep this an inexpensive LiDAR system. It's mounted on an M600, not my favorite tool, but if you've used them, you know that it works fine and it does a good job, because this thing only weighs about 5 pounds, just a hair less. Mass is 2.5 kg, so a little bit less than 5 pounds, or just call it 5. And we can fly 50, 60 acres. It's a 50, 60 acre tool. But if you want to do more than that, you can. You just, land, resume the flight, and just keep moving on, and you can, process the data. That's not a problem. This is a little bit about the system right here, the things it has, the important things. The IME, of course, important. The cameras are in there. It's got a USB stick for data transfer that's really handy because you can just pull it out of the system, plug it into your computer, open up the software, and it'll just it'll light up buttons that says you need to download now, and that's what we'll do and move on through the processing. So Ronin mount, which is standard of the industry, and dual 20 megapixel cameras. So self-contained power on the LiDAR. A lot of systems we looked at, in fact, most of them that we looked at, had a LiDAR system that was some way umbilical corded, if you will, to the UAV. And I think that's a terrible design. It's using juice, from the batteries, which shortens your flight time. And nobody wants to shorten flight time on a quad. They don't fly long enough anyway, unless you're using a Harris or something like that. So they just don't fly a long time. This one has its own power, so you don't have to worry about that. All the power for the quads coming out of the quad battery. So a little bit about some of the specs. 75 meters. We're flying usually around 70, 75 meters, depending on the foliage. 8 beams, 3 returns, field of view 9 degrees, 420 hertz. Vertical accuracy better than 5 centimeter. It's good enough for that, but I usually get better than that. With control and stuff. It is a PPK solution. So you're putting out a GPS, collecting information, bringing that information into the software as you process data. And I've got down to a tenth. I'm trying to get 1 foot contours. So I can be at 2600 on my control and have 1 foot contours, or better than 1 foot, as I'll show you later on. But the operating time for the battery is 1.5 hours into the system, so you got plenty of battery to fly, as many flights you want, and you get 2 batteries. So software. This is what you're going to do is your workflow. Plan the mission. Put out control if you want to, fly it, plug in your UMS stick, run the import wizard, run POSPAC. You can geocode the LiDAR, do an accuracy assessment, check it. If it's bad, you can do some manual correction or something like that if you want to. Colorize it, create ortho, and then get your surface for whatever you want to get. You see what the different ones you can do there. So anyway, contours or dim or something if you want to. You can do whatever. Geometric processing, POSPAC with Evo, LiDAR geocoding. Again, you check. What's cool is this software allows you to pull in your control, and it does a DZ against your control and the ground surfaces that it's looking at. So immediately in the software, do I have a problem or not? Can I fix this? And you can look at the data and see if you can, in fact, do a little more editing and fix that. But most of the stuff I've done, there's been very little manual editing. So it has a really good algorithm for running automated processing. So workflow demonstration. RMSC, we all talk about it. What is that math? What's it doing? There's a little bit of math that went into that. Those that know me know that I didn't do this. So this is a GeoCue. They put this together for their testing. They're smart guys up there that are putting all this stuff together. So standard deviation of the mean is important. How reliable is the mean? So we have to look at that as well to see how good really is our data. So timing. So plan the mission. We allowed 30 minutes. That's a 5 minute to 10 minute thing for me, but we allowed lots of time. We were very liberal with the time here. So, you wouldn't think it, but the stuff I'm going to show you was done way quicker than what this was. And the site was much larger than this. So anyway, but we want to be fair. Everybody works different. So these are some of the times involved. Here's where you're on your processing side. You're in the mission, you import, you run through the POSPAC information, you create the trajectories, you geocode the LiDAR, you do an accuracy assessment, debias the LiDAR data if you want to, and again, it doesn't take long, 11 minutes. Ground classification, you got information, your data if you have to estimate, if you have to do some things, you can do that. 39 minutes total data extraction time. So total processing time, 2 hours and 21 minutes. Not a lot creating a surface, especially on what I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. These guys had a giant 25 days into what I'm going to show you in a minute, 25 man days into this data I'm going to show you in just a second. So Quanergy M8 laser scanner for this, dual 20 megapixel cameras, a Planix APX15 P&O position orientation system, control box with sensor, the antenna kits, 2 batteries, memory stick, charger, and a carrying case for the system. All the software, everything you need, guys, for all this stuff. So again, this is Lewis's, but the words are mine too. I've done, I don't know, probably about 20 flights, but I've done 4 where I grab control in the woods, And I've had that, we got customers out there now flying these things, so they're reporting back to me as well. And it's just really been going well. Really, really good data, better than I thought. In fact, the thing I'm going to show you at the end is I got a little story to go with that. I'll wait for that though. But the thing is, the unit, the 410, is really, really working well for the customers that are using it out there. So this is what I was talking about. I'm a sales guy too, so I'm always positive. But I drive down to a site for a customer. I get out of my car and I say, I cannot help you here. As you guys look at this, you look how thick it is. You know, tree canopy is one thing up in the air. But when you've got stuff this thick, covering 40 acres on the ground, and again, I haven't flown it a lot. I've done about 20 flights. I told the customer that I don't think I can help you here. This was about 40 acres. They had about 25 man days into it. They even bulldozed some of this too to cut some stuff in to shoot some shots. It was difficult, but 25 man days into this. I flew this in about 14 or 15 minutes. Okay, guys, and I did, obviously I wouldn't be showing it to you if I didn't get data. I got really good data with zero manual editing of the data. This is what I had. This is actually the quality control quality control information that I got. My vertical mean, I can take that out of the data. We did not do it. We just left it in. I'm at 2600s. If you notice right here, my RMSC is at 2600 right across here, 2600. You're thinking, dang, Chuck, that's not good. Well, if y'all use, and most of you probably use ASPRS information, right? So vertical minimum contour interval at the bottom. I could have run 0.8 of a foot contours with this data. So what do you need? So if you want to do 1 foot contours in canopy and stuff that you just saw, I did have bamboo in there. I had normal tree cover with that stuff underneath. And we got stuff everywhere. They had over 1,000 control points that already run through this stuff and run a 50-foot grid. I brought in 70 or 80 control points. And again, I can run 0.8 contours with the data that we generated without any manual cleanup. Fully automated, in less time than you saw a while ago. So anyway, and I flew this, I don't know, a month or so ago. So anyway, guess that's all I got, guys. If you need to contact me, it's Chuck Snow, csnow@earldudley.com. Phone number's there, 205-441-8199. Our website is there. If you need to chat with me about this, please email me. If you want to see the system, send me an email. Let me know where you guys are, what you're doing, what you're trying to get with it. Again, we will have, better systems if you think you need one. Oh, I didn't give you a cost. These systems are right at with everything: drone, software, hardware, LiDAR, training, tech support cost, everything. I mean, you're out the door, for 95 grand, something like that, 90 grand, right in there. So depending on, a couple of little things that some people get, some people don't, extra batteries, iPad, that kind of stuff. So anyway, let me know if you guys are interested. So I'd love to chat with you about it because it is an incredible unit, for the expense, for the cost of it, if you will. So have a good day. Thanks for attending.